Hello friends, in this video lecture we will discuss about ecosystem, that is chapter number 14 of class 12th NCERT biology. So what is ecosystem? If we discuss about the definition, ecosystem is a system that resulting from the integration of all the biotic and abiotic factors of environment. Biotic simply we know about living beings and abiotic is about non-livings. So in living beings there is interaction and also the interaction is going with abiotic factors. The complete interaction in between both is known as ecosystem, and ecosystem is also known as structural and functional unit of ecology. What is ecology? So this is the branch of biology that deals with the study of interaction and interrelationship between organism and their environment. Ecology term was given by the scientist Ernest Haeckel. Many ecologists they regards the entire biosphere as a global ecosystem. What is biosphere? So this is sum of all atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere where life exists. So sum of all these three is known as biosphere. Ecosystem, this term was given by the scientist A.G. Tansley in the year 1935. There are further a number of terms which are used by a number of scientists in place of ecosystem, like biocoinosis. The term was given by Carl Moebius. Biogeocoinosis, this was termed by Sukhachov. Microcosm, this term was given by Forbes. And ecocosm, this term was given by Professor R. Misra, who is also known as father of Indian ecology. Now about the types of ecosystem. So ecosystem is divided into a number of categories on several parameters, as few are given here. First, on the basis of habitat, where organisms live. Basically these are two categories like terrestrial and aquatic. So example of terrestrial ecosystem are given here: forest, grassland and desert. While for aquatic ecosystem, this is related with water body. Examples are ponds, lakes, wetland, rivers, estuaries. Second categorization of ecosystem is on the basis of development, means the ecosystem is naturally existing or created by humans. So first, by natural existence there are examples like forest and oceans, and second, that is artificial, also known as man-made, or this formed because of human activities, so anthropogenic. Examples are agricultural land, gardens and aquarium. The third one is on the basis of size. On the basis of size there is broadly two categories. First one is mega ecosystem, for example sea, forest, desert, while micro ecosystem they are comparatively smaller, for example ponds and lakes. There may also be question like give an example related with nano ecosystem. So they are very minute, that's why nano. For example, there may be a water droplet with any of the biotic agent, like few bacteria or only single bacteria if there, so we may consider that one as a ecosystem. Why? Because there is water as a abiotic factor, while microbes they are as a biotic factor. So that single water droplet may also be considered as nano ecosystem. Same, there is another very important example. This is about log of wood, means in bark of wood there may also be several varieties of microbes. So that is also forming a ecosystem. Next, on the basis of stability of water, means water is standing or moving in nature on that basis. Actually this is categorization of further water ecosystem. So lentic and lotic, these two terminologies are very important, that's why taken here. Lentic ecosystem, this is about still water, means water is not running, for example ponds and lakes. Second, lotic ecosystem. So this is about running water or flowing water. For example, streams as well as rivers. Further, there are many more categories of ecosystem, like ecosystem may be fresh water or marine water, like ecosystem may be permanent or temporary. For example, rainwater ecosystem is a temporary ecosystem, while desert or sea ecosystem is a permanent ecosystem. Next may be like complete or incomplete. So again, rainwater ecosystem is incomplete because of absence of huge number of biotic factors, while at the same time forest as well as sea ecosystem is example of complete ecosystem. Ecosystem in general considered as open ecosystem. Why? Because any ecosystem that exists on earth obtained solar energy from external sources, means the sunlight which comes on earth is not inside the earth. This is actually coming from external sources. That's why open. So any ecosystem which takes anything from other regions, that's why known as open ecosystem. Now about the components of ecosystem. So as we discuss, ecosystem broadly composed by two components, biotic and abiotic. Biotic is about living beings, abiotic is about non-living beings. So biotic component further categorized into three: producers, consumers and decomposers. Now producers, they also known as autotrophs because they are self-capable to produce their food. Producers, how they are synthesizing their food, on that basis further categorized into two. First, photoautotrophs, second, chemoautotrophs. So photoautotrophs are those which utilizes solar energy as an energy source, while chemoautotrophs are those which utilizes chemical energy as a source of energy. Plants, especially photoautotrophs, also known as transducers because they convert solar energy or radiant energy into chemical energy. So sun rays or radiation energy is converted here in glucose, that is chemical energy. So that's why they also known as transducers. During photosynthesis, this reaction occurs in green plants, like 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacts with 12 molecules of water to form glucose, plus there is formation of a little amount of water with oxygen. While during chemosynthesis, in place of water, here there is another sources like hydrogen sulfide here. So 6CO2 plus 12H2S, this produces glucose plus water along with sulfur. So in this case, there is no release of oxygen. This type of synthesis is known as anoxygenic because there is no release of oxygen, and this type of synthesis is mainly, that is chemosynthesis, is mainly performed by iron bacteria, sulfur bacteria, methane bacteria, nitrogen bacteria, etc. While photosynthesis is performed by green plants with photosynthetic bacteria or cyanobacteria as well as a number of algae. Now the second biotic factor, that is consumers. So consumers are broadly categorized into two: macro consumers and micro consumers. Macro consumers are those which are comparatively large in size on that basis. So they are further categorized into three: primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. They all are phagotrophic in nature, means how they are taking their food material, on that basis they considered as phagotrophs. So phagotrophs means they take their food or they ingest their food and then followed by intercellular digestion that occurs in their digestive tract in between the cells by the enzyme which is secreted by their digestive glands. While Microconsumer, they simply known as decomposers because of their smaller size considered as microconsumer, and they are saprotrophic in nature. Means here digestion is extracellular, that occurs outside the body. So decomposers first secrete their digestive enzymes over the substrates what they have to consume, and after digestion they take that substances inside by the process of diffusion. So these 2 points are very important. Again, phagotrophs are those which ingest their food material, and in their digestive tracts there is completion of digestion. So this digestion is intercellular, while in case of decomposers, that are bacteria and fungus, they releases their enzymes outside the body over the food material what they have to consume. After digestion of that one, this occurs outside the body, outside the cells of bacteria and fungus, so known as extracellular digestion. Finally, they take their digested food material by the process of diffusion. So here first is about primary consumers. Primary consumers, they also known as herbivores because they take their nutrients directly from the producers, that are green photosynthetic plants. They also known as key industry animals. Why? Because these are the herbivores which causes conversion of plant material into animal material, and this animal material is further taken by another carnivore, because carnivore are not capable to take direct their food from primary producers. So these are primary consumers, that are herbivores, which convert this plant material into animal material that can be taken directly by the carnivore animals. Examples of primary consumers are given here: rat, rabbit, cow, grasshopper, etc. Next, secondary consumers, they also known as primary carnivore. They obtain their nutrition directly from primary consumer or herbivores. Examples: hydra, frog, fishes, etc. Next is tertiary consumer or secondary carnivore. They obtain their nutrition from secondary consumer or primary carnivore. There are a number of examples like vultures, peacock, lion, shark, crocodile, etc. These are the carnivores which are not eaten by any other carnivores. That's why they also called as top consumers as well as top carnivores. Sometimes we also call this top consumer or top carnivore as primary carnivore when they directly feeds on herbivore animals. So if tertiary consumer directly feeding on these herbivore animals, then they also considered as secondary. But if they same are feeding over these secondary consumer that are already feeding over herbivore, then they are considered as tertiary consumer. There may also be further categorization like quaternary consumers. But simply we have to learn about the 3 categories: primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. All they are categorized here under macro consumers because of their large body size and because of their mode of ingestion, that is intercellular mode of digestion. Now about the decomposers. These are micro consumers. They also known as osmotrophs or reducers. So first, why they known as reducers? Because they decompose or they simplify dead organic matter of plant or animals. That's why they are reducers. Why they are osmotrophs? So reason is given here. Decomposers do not ingest organic matter. First they release their digestive enzymes over organic matter that causes extracellular digestion, and after digestion the digested food is taken in by the process of diffusion. That's why decomposers, they also known as osmotrophs. So what are the examples of decomposers? These are bacteria and fungus. Decomposers are different from detritivores. What are detritivores? So detritivores are the animals which are also feeding on dead or decaying substances. While the same is also taken by the decomposers, then what is the difference? Difference is on the basis of their mode of nutrition. As we discussed, in decomposers, there is extracellular digestion, while in case of detritivore, there is intracellular digestion, means they take these dead substances inside their digestive tract, and then there will be secretion of digestive juices that causes digestion. This occurs inside the body. For example, earthworm, millipede, centipede, these are examples of detritivore animals. While decomposers, we already discussed bacteria and fungi.